estamos aquí felices en el Cisco Connect en Cancún, Latinoamérica. Y bueno, pues tuvimos ahí un gran keynote en donde pudimos tener a Mr. Eric Knipp. Eric Knipp, our Vicepresident for Americas for Sales Engineering. And myself, Ramón Viñals, I'm leading the SE organization in Latin America. So thanks for your keynote. You had a great keynote today.
Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun and just some great content. Very humbling to share the stage with so many other leaders.
No, it was an awesome job, and thanks for sharing a lot of what we're seeing with our customers and what we're seeing also in the whole market. And you touch really great points. I mean, you mentioned about hybrid work, you mentioned about reimagined applications, and of course transform your infrastructure, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And what can you share with us, with the audience about transform your infrastructure, and what are some of the trends? Why are we talking about transform your infrastructure in Cisco?
Well, it's a very big topic, and I think you have to start off by, and this is hard for the company that is the networking company, but we need to acknowledge the fact that companies don't build networks because they want to. They build them because they have to. And they do so to drive an incredible applications experience. And networks are fundamentally changing. They're changing from something that connects data centers to branches, something that connects users to applications. And that means that we need to think cloud first, not only in how we deploy these networks, but how we manage these networks, the type of capabilities that we bring forth to unlock the power of the cloud. And that's everything from embedding security into typical network connectivity. We've always thought of security is more of an overlay technology. Now we have to think about it as foundational as IP addressing. Because again, with the shift to the cloud, with the shift to remote work, with the shift to working to anywhere, we really no longer have a perimeter to defend. The average enterprise is leveraging 5 different cloud providers. That means an application has multiple touch points both within and outside of a customer's network that are needed in order to make that application function. So security can no longer be something that we dig our moat around the 4 walls of the enterprise, but something that follows the user, the device, the application through context and identity wherever they go. So it's a really exciting time to be, because the one thing that connects all of this is the network, is the underlying infrastructure. And if we do this right, the network goes from something that applications ride on top of to something that enables applications to be more agile, more responsive to the needs of the end user, and ultimately help modern organizations drive their business. So it's a really exciting time to be at Cisco.
Absolutely, and especially with all of these changes and these trends, and with all of the hybrid cloud and the hybrid work, I mean, after the pandemic, this has changed substantially, right?
Well, I talked a lot about those trends, both within in the worldwide trends as well as those in Latin America, but you're living it every day. What are you hearing from customers?
Well, absolutely. Our customers are thinking about that they can't continue doing networking as they used to, right? It's great and it works. I mean, the requirement now is that they have to be a lot more agile, a lot more. They need a lot more insights to have a lot more information to take agile decisions, right? And to be a lot more predictive. And I think that's what's interesting and important now with our Cisco solutions, because now we're talking about complete architectures, not just point solutions. Right. And that way we can make and we can help our customers in our world to make it operations to be a lot more easier. And if they have a lot more analytics, insights, information, and they can predict things, like for instance what you showed at the keynote with One Insights. For instance.
Yes.
So they can predict how their one links will work, and what's the best way to go to a certain application or to a certain SaaS solution, for instance.
Yeah, you also hit on briefly there that idea of analytics. Again, everything crosses the network. How is that resonating? Things such as full stack observability, again, security analytics. Are customers interested in those topics? Are we having a lot of discussions there?
Absolutely. Our customers are really asking us about how can we help them in our world to be more insightful about what's happening inside, from the applications to the network and to their own premises, right? And they are looking for us in terms of having a lot more simplicity towards how to operate everything. And that's something that we're working very hard with them. So how can we make their life simple? How can we make security even simpler, right? And it's a matter, as you mentioned, it's a matter of having it embedded into the whole. Security is not something separate, right? It's something that has to be in everything that we do.
Yeah, it's not exactly like we have a reputation in the industry for being simple. So I think there's some work we have to do there. But if you think about the benefits, again, it's great for us to talk about all these cool technologies. I mean, you and I are dyed-in-the-wool engineers. We've been doing this for a long time. We love the technology, but again, customers, CFOs, and CEOs are weighing in on these decisions more and more, especially if we think about how it's impacting not only their employees but their customers. I think the application experience is the primary way most modern organizations deal with their customers and employees increasingly. And again, that app experience is so critical. But what are some of the benefits of some of these technologies, if it's full stack observability, if it's cloud management? What are you hearing from your customers that they're able to see and they're able to get the benefit of?
Well, customers, for instance, are saying, Cisco is simple. Now it's getting simple, right? It's easier to manage.
We're working on it. Yes.
Absolutely. But we're getting there, and customers are saying, that they can relate to that. That they can see that with things even like with SecureX. So, for instance, with SecureX, a customer can already have information from different points of their network of how security and their security solutions are working together, and therefore will have a threat and detect architecture and information that they couldn't have before. So that's talking about simplicity, and customers are talking about that, and things like cloud manage. So for instance, cloud manage. Big
launch at Cisco Live this year. A lot of excitement around that.
Yeah, and I'm really excited too, because it's just doing that. It's making our customers' life a lot easier. Because I'm used to. I love Catalyst hardware, right? So I've been working with Catalyst switches for a long time. But then I know that if I have a platform in the cloud as a SaaS solution, then I can have a lot more analytics, insights, easier to manage, easier to make changes to policies, etc. So I think it's working perfectly, and especially when we're talking about all around security, this is a hot topic, right?
Oh, security is such a huge topic. But and if I think about security, I think if you think about when you and I started in the industry, it was about a firewall. Firewalls on the external, and then good guys are on the inside, bad guys are on the outside. Once you got into the network, there was very little to prevent east-west movement, if you will, or movement within. And this is really, I think, a fundamental shift that we're also seeing right now is this idea of zero trust. And again, zero trust, depending on who you ask, you'll get hundreds of different definitions. But actually, one of our distinguished architects, Jamie Heary, I think gave me the best possible example of what zero trust is. He called it least privileged access. Again, think about when you log into Salesforce, right? And when you log into Salesforce, you can pretty much pull up every customer record, all the deals, all that type of information, because again, you're kind of a big deal here in Latin America, I hear. So you have that kind of access. And what Zero Trust says is, if Ramón is on a corporate controlled laptop where we've got a security agent, he's logged in through multi-factor authentication, we've made sure it is really you, absolutely give that access. But if all of a sudden your same credentials show up in or the other side of the world just half an hour later on an uncontrolled network that is potentially suspect, we shouldn't allow that access, or we should restrict that access. And it's that type of granularity that we're going to need as we navigate this new hybrid world we find in. We estimate that 60% of knowledge workers are going to be working at least 8 days a month outside of a corporate location. So we can't rely on the firewall to protect us. We need to focus on a multi-pronged security strategy that takes into consideration things such as multi-factor authentication, zero trust both on the network and off the network, endpoint controls such as XDR, and you mentioned SecureX earlier. And I think that is such a critical differentiator in how we need to look at security. Security has typically been a best-in-breed conversation with customers. And I talked about this in the keynote. 57, the average customer has 50 to 70 different security tools. That sounds good, is that a lot of customers look at that and say, I'm protecting myself through a multi-vendor strategy, and multiple different vendors can capture it. But what you lose in that type of approach is visibility. You don't know when you're being attacked in one place, and that could be an attack that's happening across your network. So the approach with SecureX, and really our XDR defense strategy, is to tie together alarms into events and allow you to control from the endpoint to the cloud, to the cloud asset and everything in between with a single visibility strategy. Ultimately, simplifying and reducing the amount of time it takes you to respond to a threat like that. But again, I'd be curious, what are you hearing from our customers here in Latin America?
Well, our customers are definitely saying, please help me with this change, because my users are everywhere, as you mentioned. Applications are in the cloud or in different clouds, right? So we can't have the same approach that we have been using for years and years around security. So, well, yeah, I need firewalls. Firewalls are
very important. Yes.
Yeah, they're essential to our premises, and where when we have our own data center. Yeah, I need my firewall, of course. But now it's not enough, right? As users are everywhere. Applications are everywhere, and the important thing is that our approach to security has to change. We have to create this platform in our world to make sure that we have in the middle we have some way to help all of that transactions between the user and the applications and between applications, so that even though they may be everywhere at their house or on the road, I mean, that we can have information about what they are doing, what they are using to connect to our network, if they are allowed, and as you mentioned, if there is any behavior that doesn't make sense, like someone being connecting themselves at the other side of the country or the other side of the world. I mean, that should be something that we should be able to detect proactively, and then say, okay, there's something that is not right here, and then we have to find some ways and help our customers in order for them to say, okay, this is an anomaly, and then I have some ways to protect against this kind of anomaly.
So you know what the favorite part of my part of the keynote was today?
What was?
Talking about the growth of all the IoT devices. By the end of this decade, there will be 100, I almost feel like I should do a Dr. Evil, 100 billion devices accessing the global internet. Now, if there's only around 7.5 billion people on the planet, that means that we're gonna have a lot more unmanaged devices, everything from IoT sensors to security cameras to Nest doorbells. Everything that can be connected will be connected. And it's an amazing opportunity to drive a completely different level of digitization, ultimately driving our global economy forward. But, and the key but, is every one of those new IoT devices is a potential attack or broadens the attack surface. So we need to fundamentally reimagine security, not for just users, but for devices. And this is, I think, the unfair advantage we have at Cisco, because we are the network, and the network is the only thing that brings these things together. And that's why solutions such as software-defined access, our zero trust solutions, and ultimately that SecureX framework, I think are going to be so critical in helping our customers navigate a really exciting, maybe slightly perilous time in the growth of the network. But I'm really excited to be here and be a part of this.
Absolutely, it's a great time to be here at Cisco, seeing all of these changes, all of these evolutions, and to share with our customers how we can evolve and how we can really help them in our world to transition in a secure way, right? And with the right tools. And with all of the information that the network has, because the network has so much information that our customers can have and can benefit out from getting all of that information and use it in order to make business decisions. And so we can help them.
Well, we can only do it together. I mean, between ourselves, our customers, our partners, it's a partnership across the board. And we're going to help drive just a different level of relevance as we move into this next stage of a truly digital economy. I think it's going to be amazing.
So Eric, it's exciting to be here at Cisco Connect and sharing all of this information with our customers. And well, thanks for being here, Eric.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It is so great to be back here in Mexico. And thank you all for coming to Cisco Connect.
Thank you, Eric. Thanks for being here. Thanks everyone for being at Cisco Connect. Muchísimas gracias. Y bueno, seguimos con más.